Hello, my fellow real dealians. Today, we are at a crossroads for our future.
Democracy is at stake. Our president, not our EP, I love you, Logan and Celia, has failed this organization, mostly because there is no president of the real deal.
Today, we fix that. We are proud to announce the official campaign cycle has begun.
And it is with great pleasure that we announce that
I am running for president.
What?
That's coordinated this. I'm running. I know, it's me.
No, I would be so much better. Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Parker Carlson, aka your future president.
Whoa. Take it easy, man. We both know that you're not going to win. I will. Plus, it's high time we had a woman kicking butt and taking segments. And I'm all out of segments.
What do you mean you're all out of segments? We literally just started.
Really?
See now, my fellow real dealians, do you want this senile old woman running as your president? I mean, come on, Anastasia. She's already forgotten about you.
I did not. I was going to introduce the Mary Elizabeth Winstead to my Margot Robbie with a bang.
Whoa, wait, is Ramona Flowers here?
Wrong movie, but we got the next best thing. Anastasia is here with us to give us the latest news on Birds of Prey. Anastasia?
Recently, blockbuster superhero movies have been pretty much the norm. It's hard to find a time in the year where there isn't one at the theater, or at the very least, a trailer for one circulating throughout your social media apps. And until recently, it was a pretty male-led dominated genre. We had films like Elektra and Catwoman, but neither were exactly well received. But after 20 male-led films from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and 3 male-led films from the DC Extended Universe, we got Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman, respectively. Both were box office hits, and this time it looks like DC is coming out with another hit in the Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Birds of Prey is an ensemble female-led film with some bombshell characters from the DC universe, such as Harley Quinn, Black Canary, Huntress, Cassandra Cain, and Renee Montoya. Margot Robbie will be reprising her role as Harley Quinn, but all the other characters are new to the silver screen. Huntress will be played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Black Canary will be played by Journey Smollett Bell, Cassandra Cain will be played by Ella J. Pascoe, and finally Renee Montoya will be played by Rosie Perez. The Birds of Prey will follow Harley Quinn after her explosive breakup with the Joker. And after Cassandra Cain manages to anger a crime lord simply known as Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor, Harley teams up with Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya to protect Cassandra. Originally, Gotham City Sirens was slated to appear before Birds of Prey, but DC, with the help of producer Margot Robbie, decided on instead starting with Birds of Prey. Robbie explained the decision to switch the films by saying that while she was researching her character, Harley, she found a whole bunch of lesser-known amazing women characters. And while these characters are beloved and favorites for a lot of comic book fans, general audiences may not know them. Robbie wanted to showcase these characters instead of some of the better-known characters that would be featured in Gotham City Sirens. With Harley being one of the most popular characters, it makes sense to pair her up with some of the lesser-known and introduce them to the general public with Harley as a buffer. There have been some complaints about the film already, but nothing that hasn't been seen before. The complaints are pretty similar to the ones that preceded Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, such as the characters not being sexy enough, characters being misrepresented, and the film being feminist propaganda. These voices, however, are being drowned out by the many voices saying that they love the film, including the writers of Birds of Prey comics, Gail Simone and Julia Benson. There have already been some amazing early reviews for Birds of Prey. Fans are all very excited for the release, and Birds of Prey is set to come out February 6th. And that's it for me. I'm Anastasia Scott.
Thank you, Anastasia. I can't wait to see Obi-Wan Kenobi kick Harley Quinn's butt.
Once again, wrong movie, Parker.
Don't shatter my dreams, Abby.
You are churlish, childish, insubordinate, and unfit to be president.
Low blow, no.
Yeah, that's why I'm running for president. I stand on a platform of harsh criticism of Parker. Only him. Everyone else, I love you. Because he deserves to know his place as the worst, most corrupt host in Real Deal history.
Corrupt?
Yeah, I see you in the writers' meetings.
What? No, where are you getting that idea from?
Hey, Parker. Thank you so much for putting my joke in the script. I really appreciate it. You just get something nice for yourself.
Not now, honey. No.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Let's get back on track. Mackenzie?
Hey y'all, we're back again, and this time with new music. I don't know if y'all are familiar, but Porter Robinson is an American producer, musician, and DJ from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He's been producing music since he was 12 and has made music under a few different aliases over the years. However, in 2010, he released one of his most recognizable songs, Say My Name, which really launched him into the limelight of the dance music world. This is about the time that Robinson started going international as well, and he caught the ear of Skrillex. In 2011, Robinson created his first EP, Spitfire, under Skrillex's label, OWSLA. That could have a real name, but I don't know. The EP topped charts on iTunes for weeks as well. As time went on, Robinson trademarked his kind of dream-like sound, and as far as EDM goes, Robinson's music is literally the lullaby of the community. He takes inspiration from his love of anime and Japanese cultures and creates these melodic, dramatic, and often flowy songs. In 2014, Robinson began to feel a sense of resentment for the EDM scene, though. Later that year, he dropped the album Worlds, which was meant to be kind of a response to this shift of the community that he'd seen. The album was meant to go against the time beats and drops that had become so normalized in EDM. It really did, too. I mean, I would go as far as arguing that this album alone and this sound went on to pave the road for other DJs like Slander to make this kind of nostalgic and percussive sound. This is why I love Robinson so much. I think his music sounds like what raining diamonds would look like. It's literally sitting under the stars wrapped in a fuzzy blanket. That being said, he hadn't released any music, at least solo music, since the Worlds album. He did tour and headline festivals with some of his older stuff and various collabs with other DJs, but the world was fiending for new Porter Robinson music. And in that case, 2020 did not disappoint. On January 28th, Robinson announced via his social media accounts that his new album, Nurture, would be releasing soon. And the first single, Get Your Wish, dropped on January 29th. The song features Robinson's unique signature sound and his own vocals as well. He's singing, though, through some very high effects, which did make his voice much higher than you'd expect. Personally, I really love the sound created through this method, and Robinson took to Twitter to explain how he believes he found his voice through this technique. All in all, I think the song is beautifully done, and the music video is so pretty. I encourage everyone to go listen or watch, even if you don't normally like EDM. I think this is a great example of the many forms EDM can take, and if you see me walking around campus straight vibing, you already know what I'm listening to. That's all for now, y'all. Thanks for listening, and until next time, I'm Mackenzie Diggs.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Uh-oh.
What do you mean? Let me see that. Oh, the latest poll numbers are in.
What does it say?
I'm sitting firmly at 99.8%.
So I'm only at 0.2%?
No, Dr. Ronald is. You don't even qualify yet.
A squirrel is beating me.
He's definitely smarter than you.
This is unacceptable. I'm gonna have to meet with my campaign manager over the break.
Who's your campaign manager?
I have a campaign. I'm serious about this.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
president.
Okay. So Parker, how did your meeting with your campaign advisor go?
So I've decided to restructure my platform.
Okay, and that'll be?
Based off of my one true idol, Leslie Knope, I will require a mandatory waffle break in between our breaks. Also, screw healthcare. Your real deal dues will be going to...
A charity of your choice?
Screw that. They're going to provide an espresso machine and the UML.
And what about the people who don't like coffee, like Carolyn and I?
You get left in the dust for those meanie comments you gave earlier.
When I said you looked like your eyebrows were balding,
What?
it was a joke.
You said that? No.
Okay, so when when I told everyone you peed your pants because of the clown on your 7th birthday? A true story.
Thanks for bringing that up. I buried it a long time ago with my dignity, and
So what about that one time I said I liked you better when you lost your voice? That was good. That was funny.
You said that?
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you take a chill pill while listening to Carolyn give her segment? Okay, can we do that? Carolyn?
As we all know, the 2020 Grammys was this past Sunday, and I can honestly say I was wrong about all 3 predictions I had. I thought that as much as we've heard and seen Old Town Road being performed, that it was sure to win Record of the Year, but instead it went to Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. Speaking of Billie Eilish, she walked away at the end of the night with over 3 Grammys. That also includes Album of the Year. That was the second time I was wrong. I thought that award would have gone to Lana Del Rey or Lil Nas X. My third prediction was Taylor Swift, Lizzo, or Lana Del Rey winning Song of the Year, but instead it was Billie. Unfortunately, I was wrong about all 3 of my predictions. But in the name of girl power, Billie Eilish took home all 3. Not only that, she took home the award for Best New Artist as well. Congratulations, Billie. That's all from me this week. I'm Carolyn Milrow. Back to you, Parker.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn. You know, youngins like you give me hope for a brighter future for The Real Deal.
If you turn this into a political message about the socioeconomic troubles that have been plaguing this institution of The Real Deal with no end to sight, I swear that's a low blow, Parker.
I was gonna say she's better than me.
Okay, well, you're right about that. I can't argue with that. You know who else is better than you?
Nobody.
Nate. No, Nate. He's here right now to take away your limelight. Take it away, Nate.
If you're as big of a movie fan as I am, chances are you've heard of the Sundance Film Festival, which is held every January in Park City, Utah, and is the largest independent film festival in the U.S. Many of the year's biggest independent films premiere here. Different studios, both big studios and indie labels, have bidding wars for these films. Films like Manchester by the Sea, The Big Sick, Boyhood, Whiplash, Little Miss Sunshine, Call Me by Your Name, and Get Out all premiered at the festival and were big hits, and even earned some Oscar nominations in major categories. There's some promising titles that premiered at this year's festival, so let's take a look at 3 of the ones that are building the most buzz. First up, there's Promising Young Woman, a thriller starring Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Alison Brie, and Connie Britton, among others. The film follows Cassie, played by Mulligan, a young woman who suffered from a severe tragedy in her past, who is now on a path of vengeance against the so-called nice guys of the world. The film has received critical acclaim from critics who have called the film timely and a takedown of rape culture and toxic masculinity. The trailer for the film looked extremely promising, so I'm looking forward to seeing the film when it hits theaters in April. Next up, there's Palm Springs, a comedy produced by The Lonely Island, starring Andy Samberg and Kristen Milotti. As a carefree man and a maid of honor who form a strange connection with each other. Without giving anything away, the reviews have compared the film to a certain Bill Murray comedy that revolves around a holiday that happens around this time of year. The movie has earned some of the strongest ratings at the festival, and Hulu and Neon buying the film for a record $17.5 million, which is the biggest deal in festival history, beating out Fox Searchlight's purchase of the controversial The Birth of a Nation in 2016. By no joke, just 69 cents. The last film I'm going to be discussing is the new A24 film Zola, which is in fact based off a Twitter thread and stars Taylor Page and Riley Keough. The film follows Zola, a waitress who meets a sex worker named Stefani, and winds up on a wild 2-day road trip. The film has received generally good reviews and has been compared to films such as Spring Breakers, The Florida Project, and The Bling Ring, and has been called intense, wild, and equally as stressful as last year's Uncut Gems. There were plenty of other movies that premiered at Sundance as well, such as Ironbark, Minari, The Night House, Miss Americana, Downhill, and The 40-Year-Old Version, though that would probably take a bit too long to cover them all. So that's all I have for today. Until next time, I'm Nate Richard.
Thank you, Nate. Looks like a great list of Sundance movies for Abby to watch while bawling her eyes out after losing the election.
You think I'm gonna lose? That's it. Next week, same time, same channel, same place. I challenge you to a debate.
I'll have you know, I ranked 5th in my 4th grade class debate club. You're on.
Only 5th place? Why was that threatening?
I mean, it was hard juggling debate club and safety patrol, you know.
What a nerd. Stay tuned for our final word. I recently finished a series on Netflix, and for the first time in a long time, I was satisfied with the entire series, including the very last episode. The series that I'm talking about today is The Ranch on Netflix. is about a family that owns a ranch in Colorado, and the most predominant characters are the dad and the two sons, Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson, which turned into two cousins played by Ashton Kutcher and Dax Shepard when Danny Masterson went to jail, you know. As the show goes on, the viewers follow the family through the hardships of owning a ranch in this day and age. Big corporations wanting to buy out small town farmers and take the heart out of the work, wildfires compromising everything, and the small amount of money made for the endless work that they do. The storyline that hooked me the most was Ashton Kutcher's character Colt and his high school sweetheart Abby. I think her name was Abby, so I could get used to hearing him say my name all the time because I love him. We're meant to be. From the very start, their love story drew me in. Colt is the guy that is kind of lost in his life, and you really root for him to end up with this amazing girl. And that isn't all there is, though. The show dives into abortion, domestic violence, PTSD, murder, dealing with death, the effects of dementia, lying, stealing, divorce, and even gun control. The show's main characters are portrayed as conservative small-town people, but they cover all sides of every topic. There were times when this hilarious show made me tear up a bit and think about how I would handle a situation like this. Now, I was drawn to this show because of Ashton Kutcher, because I love him, and Danny Masterson. I love that 70s show, and in fact, I would consider it to be one of my favorite shows. I enjoyed seeing the two work together again and all of the characters that they brought on from the show. Perhaps this makes me a bit biased when I say that I love it, but I think I love both for all the right reasons: comedy and involvement. Through each episode of The Ranch, I laughed a lot and I stayed invested. I rooted for the family to pull through, I rooted for love, and I got excited when the cute dog would come on screen. I also connected to the show with a wide variety of topics covered. The hard topics are hard to watch, but so many people go through each of them, and so they are extremely important to recognize in this world. So I recommend watching The Ranch. Watch it to laugh, watch it to see how a small town family gets through all of life's battles. That's all I have today.
Man, The Ranch sounds much better than watching reruns of House.
You're right.
Can I get a press F to pay respects? It's official. MoviePass is dead. Back when little baby MoviePass was created in 2011, it had a lot of skeptics from theater chains, but they lived in happiness since tons of people had no idea what it was. Flash forward to this current flashback to 2017, when it took the world by storm. And by the world, I mostly mean people of our generations who want to cheap out on the outrageous ticket prices that movie theaters have. In case you were living under the world's most isolated rock, MoviePass used to offer unlimited tickets to select movies for one low subscription fee. People absolutely abused this offer, going to see crappy movies they would never otherwise see, running MoviePass's wallet dry, which led to MoviePass's downfall. One that was totally a huge surprise to literally everybody, because who could have seen that coming?
No one.
What? Since MoviePass never actually got revenue from this business model, which is like the one thing that companies are designed to do, MoviePass tried various changes to their model, like limiting subscribers to 3 tickets a month, but it ultimately couldn't fix the huge deficit they built up. In September, they put MoviePass on indefinite hiatus after the last of their board members resigned. That leads us to today, well, actually 2 days ago, when MoviePass officially filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. If you had hoped that MoviePass could potentially revive itself, just do yourself a favor and throw that hope in the trash. Since MoviePass is dismantling, they've announced that they're going to be selling what little they have of their assets to pay off their creditors. Oddly enough, in their files, MoviePass listed their subscribers under their creditors. So who knows? If you are still subscribed to MoviePass for some ungodly reason, you may be eligible for a refund. Anyways, let's pour one out for the upper echelon of the industry, rich enough to create services that do nothing but burn money. MoviePass was perfect, although fleeting, service for students like us. Rest in peace.
That's it for us here at The Real Deal. If you want more from us here at The Real Deal, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website for all things entertainment. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Parker Carlson. See you next time on The Real Deal.